We would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land and sea on which this documentary was made, and pay our respects to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander elders past, present, and emerging. We acknowledge the brother boy and sister girl community and the important role they play in the wider LGBTQIA+ community. The following documentary discusses topics including mental health, transphobia, suicide, depression, anxiety, and gender dysphoria.
What we're talking about here
It
is
is deeply
gender
concerning to
reversal
see the
surgery
Prime Minister
for young
spreading these
adolescents,
alarmist
and
views.
we can't pretend this is not a
Decisions
very
about medical
significant,
care should be
serious
between the
issue.
patient and their
We are
treatment.
failing trans people.
What we need to look for from our national political leaders is ways to unify the country and bring people together.
The first time I was able to swim shirtless, I thought, this is what freedom feels like. It was the first time in years I had felt truly comfortable. Being able to wake up in a body that's yours after a lifetime of feeling like a stranger in your own skin is the difference between just staying alive and finally living. So why is it that so many are unable to experience this freedom for themselves? My name is Kai. I'm a filmmaker currently studying at university. I just love to create things and find new experiences. I'm also a transgender man. Before starting medical transition, my life was entirely dictated by intense dysphoria. I struggled just to get through each day and suffered from severe mental health issues that swallowed up all of my teenage years and still affect me to this day. Being able to medically transition literally saved my life. And the mere fact that I was able to access the medical care I needed means that I'm one of the lucky ones. There are still countless transgender Australians today who are still out there experiencing the same pain that I experienced, but their only means of escape is being gatekept behind massive paywalls. I want to delve deeper into this issue, to uncover just how much this impacts real trans lives, and to find out just how we can change it. Today, I'm going to go speak to my friend Leo, whose inability to access the medical care they need is severely impacting their everyday life.
Yeah, so I know for many different trans people it's different for everyone. But for me, my main dysphoria is surrounded around my chest. I've known since hitting puberty that my chest should not be the way it is. Even just for my own mental health, knowing that people are going to validate me and people are going to see me as who I am, because it's been 22 years of being called something I'm not, and that I know inside is not me. And so it feels like I'm really having this everyday struggle of getting up, getting dressed, and presenting myself to the world the way I want to, but in a body that's not correct.
What will be the process for you trying to get top surgery?
So the first thing is money. It can cost $10,000 up. I don't have that money. I live out of home with my partner. Most of my money goes towards bills. Sometimes we can get takeaway.
What do you think could be changed within the system?
Right now, where things like top surgery or any surgery to medically transition, it's seen as an optional surgery or plastic surgery. I don't see that as optional. I don't think anyone would choose to pay $10,000 as a uni student to get top surgery if they didn't have to. It's just having Medicare cover that would be so amazing. And being able to at least, starting small with at least having them cover part of it, just so it's not so expensive and so hard and so inaccessible.
It's just unfair that we can't access this medical care we need because it's not seen as necessary. So I'm going to go speak to a medical professional today who is at the heart of this evolving industry and can tell us a little bit more about this situation.
It's bad if a trans person is not able to access care. It means that they're likely to have potentially ongoing dysphoria. And that can lead to quite significant mental health issues like depression and anxiety. And certainly, you know, I have had patients, and I know that there are statistics to show that people who can't access care are more likely to experience feelings of wanting to end their lives. Medicare was created to support the health of all Australians. And at the moment, with respect to trans health, it's failing.
The Medicare benefit schedule is a comprehensive list of every possible expense that Medicare can cover. These expenses are called item numbers and include everything from major surgeries to GP visits. Item numbers specific to gender-affirming healthcare, however, are not currently present in the MBS, which means that these treatments are not covered by Medicare. As president of the Australian Professional Association for Trans Health, Dr. Bishop has been working to change this.
What we've done is OzPath has made a collaborative group with the Australian Society of Plastic Surgeons to work towards getting MBS changes, and we've already had some positive feedback from the Health Minister about it. So we are going ahead to look at how we can make an application to get a whole suite of item numbers added to the MBS.
In 2021, a petition to include trans healthcare under Medicare garnered over 148,000 signatures. It was picked up by the Greens Party, but a statement by the Minister for Health seemed to say that it wouldn't be pursued.
Before a new medical procedure or treatment can be publicly funded on the MBS, an application would...
OzPath is pursuing it, but they are limited in resources and support. Do we have to fight for this on our own, without government support, or is there a way that they can help us?
Trans rights and trans healthcare is just not prioritised by the government at the moment, and we believe that that is wrong, and we think that everyone should have the equal opportunity to the healthcare requirements that they need, and we know that the money exists to be able to fund these. So we need to reprioritise that side of things. But there is a lot of discussion in the media and in politics at the moment around trans issues, and a lot of it is actually really hurtful and bad. However, the fact that it's being talked about, I'm seeing as a sort of a positive, in a sense that it means that we're being noticed and that people are actually becoming aware that we exist.
Talking with Claire has made me realise just how important it is that we come together as a community and start fighting for our rights. If we want to see real change, then we need to make our voices heard, and we need to make the people in power listen to us so they can make these changes happen. And we need to start doing it now, because just like the next person that I'll be speaking to, some trans Australians just aren't able to wait for this care that they need. So once you sort of started medical transition, how did that change for you?
I mean, it's lots of great steps. Like every time something new happens, like you see changes, not understanding yourself for so long, it just, when the final puzzle piece like fits in, you're just like, oh my God. Realizing that there is an answer, because like I was depressed from when I was like 13 years old, 12, 13 years old. And I just like thought that was all life was going to be. I thought like you just had to live for your family and for other people because like I didn't want to live. And that was part of my coming out. I was like, when was the last time I was happy? It just seemed like something I couldn't have. The amount of money that it costs has always seemed like way out of reach. I don't even understand why it's such a controversial issue. There's many surgeries that are covered for the mental well-being of people. Like if you've lost a body part, or a cis man who's grown breast tissue, they will remove it because it's good for the mental health of that person.
What about your top surgery experience? How is that for you, both like mentally and also financially?
I pulled most money out of my superannuation. I saved a little bit myself. Worth it. Like my emotional state after having top surgery was just chalk and cheese. Felt like a weight had been lifted from my chest. The dysphoria of not having a penis has been a big one for me. I'm looking at about 80 to 100K depending on options and complications. But there's also a lot of emotion that goes with it. Like, I put a lot of work into my place, and like I don't really want to have to sell my house, but there's no, like if you say like the house or finally feeling complete, obviously like my emotional state is more important. Only the last few years just been like, I fucking love life. I want to live. I want to like look after myself and do well and do something with myself, because I finally know what it's like to be inspired to live and to have a life and do things. So yeah, it's been worth it.
Talking with Mika made me realize just how much we need to change this system. What he went through is more than anything that anyone should have to go through. And it is incredibly admirable that he got through it. He got through it and he is living, and that is amazing. But that doesn't mean that other people should have to go through this. No one should ever have to go through this, and we need to change. I want to do what I can to help the people who need it now, even if it isn't a long-term solution. And so, I have helped to plan a live music night to raise funds towards Leo and Mika's own medical transitions, and to draw attention to this fight for funded trans healthcare. When I started making this documentary, I knew that I wanted to help my community, but I had no idea how. Now I know that change can happen if we can get transgender healthcare to be fully covered by Medicare. Organisations like OzPath are already working to make this happen, but they need help. The government needs to do their job and step up.
Transgender healthcare isn't elective, it is life-saving. I am living proof of that, and the countless transgender Australians who are currently struggling to receive that care are also proof of that. So I encourage everyone here tonight to do your research on who is representing you, to call them and to make them hear you. I want you to educate your friends and family about this issue and to support the trans people in your life as best you can. And if you're trans yourself and currently struggling to receive this care, just know that you are not alone. I have been through what you've been through, and trust me, you'll get through it. Our community is strong, and if we all come together to fight for trans lives, change will happen. It will be inevitable.